12 o'clock, high noon on Fox. It is Texas minus 7.5 points on the road at Michigan. You are our Michigan man here on the show, Dan.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
The Michigan man once removed. What is the vibe like in the Rubenstein house? Have you put the flags out yet? Maize and blue? What painting the kids' faces? Where are we at?
You know, we actually do have an Oregon flag and a Michigan flag. Like, this is an actual thing that people do in our neighborhood. They put out their alma mater flags. So I think I got to get the flag holder in place. I think I have to secure that because we got to start flying some flags as the Chris Bottom era approaches. I think there's excitement. I know a couple people who are trying to go. I don't know if it worked out for them. Michigan people trying to get up to Ann Arbor from around here, but I mean, I think vibes are still pretty high among the Michigan faithful, even after last week's offensive struggles at times. So I think vibes are still high in the shadow of last season's national championship run. So this has been a non-conference calendar circler for a while now. Hey, real quick, it'd be great if you could consider subscribing to the YouTube channel down below. It really helps us out.
How do you feel about the way this game shakes out? Because I could not get past my skepticism of the Michigan quarterback situation.
Yeah.
That, to me, is stuck in the craw. I love the defense, like the rushing attack, even like the coach. There's a lot to like about this Michigan team, but that quarterback situation, I kept thinking that through, and that bothers me.
I want to do my best to extend grace to every single team in college football, the grace of saying that was week one, and there are always going to be lumpy week ones for everybody in some regard. And so this is not just true about Michigan, not just true about any other team that wasn't fully satisfied with one or both sides of the ball. But everything after the bud is what you really mean, right? But I would have liked to see Davis Warren with an extremely experienced offensive line in front of him, or an extremely experienced receiving core to count on. And the fact that we are counting on all of the news, even though the offensive coordinator was just an internal promotion, new full-time offensive coordinator, new full-time starting quarterback, new full-time offensive line, new full-time receiving core. It's a lot of new for a game like this. And so that's where my mind is with this Michigan offense, which had scored, I think the score was like 16-10 in the fourth quarter against what I consider to be a pretty good Fresno State team. But all the same, 16 points is not incredible for a home opener.
That's not going to win against Texas.
16 points is not a lot. They ended up scoring more, and they had the pick six at the end. I believe it was a pick six, yes?
Yep.
So, score points however you can. Still questions to me. Now, the way Texas is built, I really like how this Texas defense should improve this year. But going on the road, this was not a great road team last year, losing neutral site to Oklahoma, struggling against TCU, struggling against Houston. It's difficult for everybody on the road. But would have liked to see maybe stronger performances to feel incredible about Texas in this spot. But in terms of the number of ways Texas can win, thin a running back still, whatever. If I'm a Texas fan, I'm feeling pretty incredible with where Michigan specifically is, because it's hard to imagine Michigan having a plan A, B, and C on offense to win this game. Not worried about this Michigan defense at all, but I think they're going to be on the field a while. And so I was really digging to say, I think Michigan at the very least covers this game because tough defense at home is a pretty incredible combination throughout the years. It's a time-tested thing. But you're asking me to put the faith in Davis Warren to score, I don't know, 24 points or something like that? 21 points? 18 points? It's not going to be Alex Orji, right? If they loved Alex Orji as a quarterback, they'd have him throw more than twice, 3 times? Is that what he threw against Fresno? They didn't. They didn't want him throwing that many times, probably for a reason. So this is a Davis Warren offense, at least for now. And so I have Texas winning this game. What did I write down here? I want to get down exactly what I wrote down. 23-13 in covering.
You're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
I have 23-13 as well.
Is that true?
Swear to
Digital
God.
high five. Great job.
Digital high five. Yeah. My theory is that Texas is just the better, more complete team, and they're going to win the game. That's been my theory since March. It's even more my theory now after the whole quarterback thing unfolded last week for Michigan. If Sherrone Moore is giving the reins to Davis Warren, we have to take that as a vote of no confidence in Alex Orji throwing the ball, just as you described. I think that's completely fair. And it brings me back to something I've said for a while now about the Michigan offense. It worked last year and the year before, yes, because of the offensive line, because it was a Joe Moore caliber unit. But I think it worked more because of the threat of J.J. McCarthy. You couldn't over commit to the run because if you had to, in a pinch, J.J. could still beat you through the air. If they don't have that second pitch with Davis Warren or whoever, that makes that offense really one-dimensional. Can Michigan run the ball 45 times and win against a team like Texas? I don't think so. I don't know if it comes to that, but whether they're trying to run it 45 times or they end up having to throw it 45 times, I would like to see more balance from the offense or have more known quantities on this offense that I could rely on. Now, maybe Davis Warren will turn into something this game that we didn't see last. It was his first game as a starting quarterback, right? I just don't want to put my money behind that. The other thing that I would add here, just if we're being complete about things.
Please.
Texas did lose some beef along its defensive line.
Yes, they did.
It's not easy to replace a guy like a Tavondre Sweat, a Byron Murphy. I do think that Michigan's going to be able to run the ball in Texas to some extent, but they still got to figure out some sort of balance. You can't be completely one-dimensional. I love Donovan Edwards. I think he'll move the rock a little bit, but if you can't rely solely on that against a team like a Texas. It's just not the same team it was a year ago. So I understand the point spread. I get where people are coming from when they look at this and they say, well, Michigan's got the defense. They're at home. That makes a lot of sense to me. Given the matchup, I think it makes a ton of sense for Michigan to make this very messy and drain the clock and limit how many touches Texas gets, that sort of thing. Wouldn't surprise me. It's a lower scoring game. The over-under is, I think I saw 42 and a half, somewhere in that vicinity. I don't like unders, but I might be inclined to go under if I were going to place a bet on the total here. But I'm with you, man. I've got literally the same score, 23-13. The difference for me is that offense for Michigan, which I think could end up being very one-dimensional against a good Texas defense and against a Texas offense, frankly, that has, as you said, a number of different ways to beat you.
And the good thing, look, if you're going to say there is some good potentially about Michigan throwing the ball, it's that they have one of the best 3 tight ends in the country.
Yeah.
So in terms of like a safety net, safety valve, whatever, on 3rd and 7 or something, there is that gravitational player for Michigan. But once again, what's plan B, C, and D?
That's the problem. That's the problem I have with it too.
Michigan is not able to get to him all the time, to Colston Loveland. So I don't know. Small receivers too. And I like the emergence of a second back for Michigan last week. Mullings looks strong to very strong. So that's a nice addition. But that was never going to be the question. We always knew Michigan was going to be focused on running the ball a lot. But yeah, man, 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 11s, down 10. What does that offense look like?
Yeah.
What's the patience like? This isn't Jim Harbaugh. This isn't 2023. So I sort of got to see it before I believe it.
All right. So we agree. Big time.